And RJD leaders have started reaching Rabri Devi's residence. Rabri Devi, remember, is the wife of Lalu Prasad Yadav. Both have been leaders in the state. Alok Mehta, Shyam Rajak, Lalit Yadav, senior leaders from the RJD arriving at the residence. Very quickly, I'm going to go over to my colleague Saurabh. He's our ground reporter from Patna. He's going to bring us more on these developments. Saurabh, a big day for the RJD. The party finally gets to see itself return to power in a surprising arrangement. Tell us more about the leaders who are arriving right now.
Yes, Toya, it's been half an hour and the leaders of RJD, they are arriving at Rabri residence, which is just behind me. And here we have been learning that Tejashwi Yadav is conducting a meeting with some of the big leaders of RJD, including Alok Mehta, who is a MLA from Ujiarpur in Samastipur, Shyam Rajak, and other leaders. Lalit Yadav has also arrived here, who is an 8-time MLA from nearby Madhubani district from Patna. Now we are learning from our sources. There are some front runners of RJD who will be a part of cabinet. We are not confirming this, but based on our sources, we are learning that Alok Mehta, Bhai Virendra, Lalit Yadav and Anita Kumari, who was transport minister earlier when RJD and JDU was in a coalition government, these four names that are coming up, it's cropping up that these four names are going to be included in the cabinet. Now we are at Rabri residence, and here the leaders are still arriving, and it is said that Tejashwi is conducting a meeting with these MLAs and discuss about the cabinet expansion. Now at 2 p.m. Yesterday RJD tweeted that at 2 p.m. Deputy CM and CM is going to swear in the Raj Bhavan today, and it's around 10 o'clock now, and till 2 p.m. we are going to witness dramatic visuals of Deputy CM and CM. Both will go to the Raj Bhavan and take the oath. Now it is for the RJD to decide what all ministers are to be included in the cabinet. We are also learning all those JDU portfolio, BJP portfolio department that was with the BJP when NDA was in government till yesterday. All those departments will be handed over to RJD. This is what our sources are saying, and also the Congress leaders will also be a part in the cabinet. We have learned that from Congress, Shakil Ahmed Khan, Madan Mohan Jha and one more leader are going to be the part of the cabinet. So these are the latest update from RJD office. Here the leaders are arriving and they are discussing about the cabinet expansion with Tejashwi Yadav inside Rabri's residence.
Saurabh, thank you for bringing us up to date. Now we're going to go over to my colleague, our political editor, Maya Shakil. She's live with us from Raj Bhavan, which is going to see much of the action later in the day today. Maria, just for our audiences, I'd like if you could explain, because our audiences are obviously tuning in from around the country. For the people of Bihar, what does today feel like? This is an arrangement that they obviously last saw from 2015 to 2017. It's a familiar arrangement in some ways. How do they perceive the political changes?
Well, I think it's too early to really guess what people of Bihar in general would be thinking, but it's almost like a deja vu for the state. But one thing is clear, that Nitish Kumar is continuing as the chief minister, so as far as the continuity is concerned, that is there. The only aspect that is changing is a realignment which has happened yesterday. So there was no resort politics, there was no allegations or counter allegations, there was no horse trading. It was just smooth realignment that happened, something that Bihar has been witnessing for the last 7-8 years. In 2015, the mandate was for Lalu Yadav and Nitish Kumar. Nitish Kumar forgot about that mandate, and in 2017, he jumped the ship and formed the government with the BJP. In 2020, the mandate was for Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Nitish Kumar, and again we have seen Nitish Kumar jump the ship and realign with the party that he won 2015 in. So there are several teething questions as far as the inherent contradictions in this alliance is concerned. That will be the big challenge going ahead and going forward. Tejashwi, of course, will be asserting more. This will be not the same Tejashwi that we saw in 2015. He has emerged out of his father's shadows clearly in 2020. The manner in which he ran the campaign and ensured that the entire Mahagathbandhan, which includes smaller parties, includes CPI-ML, Congress, all these parties, he now commands 114 MLAs in all. We have seen recently how 5 MIM MLAs who won in the Simanchal part have switched and joined the RJD. So with that kind of number that he is bringing in this alliance of 114, he will be asserting more. There will be also an image, effort by him to really position himself as someone who can deliver. Because in 2020 elections, one of the promises that was made by Tejashwi was a promise of 10 lakh jobs. So will that be something that he'll be able to maneuver and work around with Nitish Kumar? Nitish Kumar, on his part, since 2020, had displayed his discomfort with the BJP repeatedly. But his own political capital stands diminished. What does Nitish Kumar really stand up for today or stand for is something that he can best answer. But as far as Bihar is concerned, it is seeing continuity. The Chief Minister is the same. Only the alliance partners around the Chief Minister are changing. Is Nitish positioning himself for a bigger role in 2024? Well, that is almost certain. But what will be the contours of that role? How will he be perceiving it? That is something that we'll have to wait and see. And as I have been saying, there's a lot of political uncertainty. Yes, there is stability in terms of the numerical strength of this alliance, but instability in terms of what Nitish Kumar will be doing next.
And Maria, just to come back to you, when it comes to the BJP, that's a party that, when we take a look at Maharashtra, has played a long game. Yesterday, many questions were being asked on the BJP's perceived silence. Today, we know they've announced a day of protest. But what's the long-term plan for the party?
Yes, so far the BJP had been playing second fiddle to Nitish Kumar. They were making efforts to not really antagonize Nitish Kumar. They were being very careful in also not being seen as openly taking on Nitish Kumar. But I think post-2020, when BJP actually emerged as the bigger brother in this alliance, winning almost double the number of seats that Nitish Kumar has done, so they started asserting themselves. And if anything, from the day one of the swearing-in ceremony of the new government, when the BJP got 2 cabinet berths, they also ensured and they insisted that they should get the speaker's chair. Nitish Kumar understood that perhaps he will not be very comfortable. As far as his open voicing of disagreement of the policies of the central government is concerned, that was playing out in full public view. Even on Agnipath scheme, which the central government projected as the big idea going ahead for defense forces, Nitish Kumar was opposing it. He has been opposing the central government policies on a number of occasions. But what we saw yesterday was a clear case of Nitish Kumar looking at the transition from the BJP to the RJD as far as his alliance partners or the groups are concerned. And while the surround sound was about optics, Nitish ensured that the entire operation, along with the Mahagathbandhan parties, is carried out in a matter of few hours. It's almost similar to 2017. And now the new government will be sworn in today. It will be Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and Deputy Chief Minister. And as far as other ministries or other cabinet berths are concerned, that will be decided over the next few days. So for the moment, the message is to ensure that the message goes to the people that it's a functioning government. There's no dysfunctional state of Bihar. That is the reason why the swearing-in ceremony only of the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister will happen at 2.
Okay.